till I die, Spurs die hard. Tottenham till I die. Tottenham till I die. Tottenham till I die. Spurs die hard. Tottenham till I die.
Hello and welcome to the regular Sunday edition of Spurs Die Hard's TTID Tottenham Till I Die. Tonight we'll talk about the game that we played against Chelsea and we'll discuss the latest transfer rumours, debunk some, maybe agree that there's truth to some of the others. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce my guests. Jack in the top right, how are you, mate?
I'm not too bad, mate. I'm all good. Ready to talk more about these transfers and talk about this game that we just played against Chelsea. Very exciting game in my perspective, but I'd like to hear everyone else's perspective on the game, and even to everyone who's watching.
And on to Rain, who's a regular Sunday guest on the show. How are you, Rain?
Very good, thank you, Adrian. Very good. Yeah. Bizarrely, there's a lot to talk about. But there's a lot that hasn't happened. So
yeah, we'll get into all of that. We'll scroll down. Right. We'll go straight into it. Jack, 1-2. There were some interesting things we can take from this game, though. I mean, what was your take on the game?
What was my take?
Well, if I give a rough synopsis, I thought the first 15, 20 minutes, Chelsea were the better team, and then we just took over the team, right, basically. We took over. Danso blundered in the second half, and we showed character to go to the end and then score, an extra time winner. That's just a brief synopsis, but we can go in player depth for that.
Yeah, exactly. I'd echo the same thing. First 15 minutes, it looked like Chelsea were definitely on the front foot, and then we came up with that goal from our new £100 million signing Tonali. That was a very nice, well-worked goal from him to Solomon. Solomon back in any first-time shot. It did take a deflection to put off the goalkeeper for the first goal, but it's still a good goal nonetheless. And then the Chelsea's equaliser from Esteval with a header. He's quite short, so you wouldn't really think of him scoring a header, but I don't think Andy Robertson saw him as well as what he should have. So that led to that goal. And then right at the end, we've got a traditional Richarlison tap-in. To make it 2-1, the 90th minute +5, which I was happy about. Obviously, you see the red card beforehand with Kevin Danza. I wasn't happy about that. It was a bit of a silly challenge to make, and he knows Pedro's through on goal at that point. And it's just the rules are the rules. We get red cards even in pre-season for silly mistakes like that. But I think overall, after looking at the stats at the end of the game, I'm quite happy with it. We showed a decent bit of possession. I think De Zerbi's substitutions, apart from the Danzo red card, but his substitution after that, bringing on some fresh legs, was definitely well worked into it. You had that youngster from the academy, Rio. He came on, showed a lot of character. When I think it was Davis passing the ball, he's turned. Sent one Chelsea player flying onto the floor, and he's ran the whole length of the pitch and gone for a shot, which is what we need from most senior players as well as the academy players. So he definitely showed a lot of grit to prove his worth to the main head boss, De Zerbi. A couple of other players did stand out. You had Matisse Tell again. He was standing out a bit more as well for this game, as well as the game beforehand as well. And obviously there's a bit of some missed players. Obviously Takai's had a little bit of a hit and miss this pre-season tour, especially leading to the goal that equalised for
At least we've
the
seen
game
him.
before, which was against Sydney. Yeah, but yeah, exactly. At least we've seen him. He has been injured, so it's good to see him back on the pitch. But at the same time, he has made a couple of handful of mistakes. So, but look, I think the game overall for the Chelsea game, I'm quite happy with it. Shows what De Zerbi's planning with all these signings that he's made for the next season. And it's good to play another London club as well as a Premier League team in these sort of pre-season tours. But obviously, we're going to talk about all the other transfers that are may or may not be happening, and obviously give our takes on them. So I'll wait until that point. But overall, personally, for me, I'm happy with that game. Quite happy with
Ryan,
it. Good show of character from all the players.
Yeah, Ryan, your take on the game?
So it was a bit less of an under-21 game compared to Auckland and the game in Sydney, which was good. Tonali, industrious, Tell, busy as normal. So yeah, that was quite like the work that that Tell did during the first half. I was a bit disappointed with Van Hecker, and I don't know whether it was Gray next to him, but they seemed to be a bit all over the shop, over on the right hand side of defence, as evidenced by the goal, as evidenced by their goal. You know, where was it? Lavia got completely free, you know, on their left, our right, and got that crossing, and then, you know, nobody really doing what they needed to do at the back post. Yeah, the youngsters coming on and, you know, doing some good work. But I think, look, let's call a spade a spade. What it really showed us is just how light we are up front. Richarlison got his goal, but it was all made by Donnelly. Really,
and Gray won 2 challenges in that lead up to that goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and
on Van Hecker though, on Van Hecker and the goal, Bergvall lost the ball in their penalty area. That's where they broke from. Now the ball that come over the cross I'm not defending Robinson either. Don't get what, but I think it took a slight deflection when the ball cross came in.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But you know, Robinson didn't have the greatest game. I don't think he had the greatest game anyway. You know, he was better in the previous game. Yeah. So Van Hecker though, I got a vignette from Hugo Films that showed everything he did in the game. You know, all his touches. He put one forward angle Toby Alderweireld type ball through, but the rest of it wasn't bad. Apart from like you critiqued him on the lead up to the goal, you know, but he didn't do bad. And they were looking to pass him the ball. You know, you got the centre back that's progressive, Davis, and that was always looking to pass them a ball. And what I noticed at times when we had Chelsea push back, we had a back 2 in the middle of our centre half, in the middle of our half though, and at times we had a back 3. What's your take on that, Rain? Is this something of De Zerbi ball we're going to see?
I have no idea. It's pre-season, isn't it? It's and like Jack said, it was majorly disrupted by Danzo getting sent off. Really daft. We need to keep a watch on that, because if that is something that he does repetitively.
He's done it before and he's got away with it, trying to let the ball glide across his body. Now, Maddison can do that. He's got the skill. We've seen Maddison do that to loose players, dummy players and whatever.
But he's also not doing it on the edge of his penalty area.
Yeah, well, and Danso, the one thing he's got over Ashley Phillips, you know, Vaskovic and whatever, and Malachi Hardy, is experience, right? That's probably the only metric he beats them in. And I like Dan, so don't get me wrong. But even if that pitch was bad, that ball, if he didn't try and take it across the body, that goal was preventable, wasn't it? It was preventable. And I hope he learns from it because it's a pre-season game. Don't think you're a sort of Beckenbauer or something like that, or a Ledley King or whatever. You're not. You're a good footballer. You've got your strengths, but don't try. I mean, like, he shouldn't try to do that. I mean, he's not.
The reality is, once he'd made the mistake, he shouldn't have compounded it by pulling the player down and getting sent off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's far better. And obviously, we came back and we won 2-1. But actually, it's far better to when it's like that and it's going to be a clear red card. Okay, if it's on the halfway line and you've got your other centre half, running next to you, and it's going to put doubt in the referee's mind about whether it should be a red card, then fine, do a Virgil van Dijk and pull the player down. But when it's completely free, you need to have the sense of the sense of awareness to not pull the player down because you're gonna get sent off.
Yeah.
So no matter, you need to have the emotional control to not do what he did, which is very disappointing, Adrian. Actually, that he did do that.
Because then fans are thinking, "Oh my God, we're going to get pounded now." It didn't happen, but everyone, even I thought, "Oh God, now what?" So
I thought Bergvall was disappointing. To be honest, but the most disappointing thing is no Maddison. We're not seeing no Fernandes, and although De Zerbi is making all the right noises, and I hope it's true that De Zerbi's keeping them back and protecting them. I hope that's actually what's happening, because we've been duped before, right? But if it isn't, and these players are going to be like 2, 3, 4 weeks, that's a couple of games they're missing, and they're going to have missed pre-season conditioning, which is really, really disappointing.
Yeah, Jack. I mean, there's a reason. I mean, we all like Danso because he's like a Davies type of player and whatever. He's like a good club pro, but there's a reason he's fourth choice centre back. I mean, let's be fair about this. I mean, and he's got to iron out these. He's got to iron out these errors. He's not there. He's not there to be a playmaker or a progressive ball passer, because that's not his game. He's clunky on the ball at times, But he's a good player. On to players of the match. I mean, Kinski, 4 excellent saves. The one that he deflected onto the bar, right, which deflected off a player anyway to come to him, and that was world class. There's been a lot of, we get there with every player anyway, but there's been a lot of I'm in an Aaron Kinski. We should get another goalkeeper. Isn't good enough, and all this. All right, he had a nightmare against Atletico Madrid, which was the wrong game to frame in pouring rain on a dodgy pitch, in my opinion. But the games at the end of last season up to now, he's been okay. It's probably still too small a sample, though.
Oh, I think, 100%. I mean, I think everyone's saying, I've had a lot of people say that Kinski should be our number one goalkeeper, but I think given, like, in the last 7 games is not enough time to decipher when a goalkeeper is fully ready to be number one choice, first choice keeper. You know what I mean? Look, I like Kinski. I really do like Kinski. He had a lot of obviously slander against him after the Atletico game, but it's a dodgy pitch. It was obviously a wet game. You can make a lot of excuses for what happened, but everyone thought that he was going to be completely down in the mud, like finished, going to leave the club after that. But he showed a lot of grit and a lot of compassion to pick himself back up and work on his game a bit more. When Vicario had his hernia surgery, he had to step in, the only one that could step in, and he definitely showed his worth, and definitely not apart from Paulinho, one of the players that definitely kept us up within that season. And look, that save that he made to tip it off the crossbar, it just reminded me of the Leeds game when we drew 1-1. Now I was there for the Leeds game. The shot was a lot different because it was more direct at him, a lot more power. It managed to tip it off the back. Yeah, 100%. And so that's definitely what that was showing me. It's still showing me that he is still essentially fighting for his place, whether or not Vicario does go. Obviously, I hear through the talk on Twitter now that Juventus have pulled out of the race to sign Aston Villa's Martinez, and I think they're now fully focusing on Vicario at the moment. So if he does go, then that's the goalkeeper we have, and then obviously we've got Dubravka and we've still got Brandon Austin that's still on the bench as well. But do I think we still need a bit more of an experienced keeper? Possibly. I mean, that's also what Dubravka was pulled in for, because of how many years he's been in the Premier League, to have that experience and probably to shadow a bit with Kinski and help him out with his game. That could be one of the reasons why he is there. But he's also there because we still need a keeper to have on the bench just in case Kinski gets injured, or if Vicario does stay, Vicario gets injured. But I think if Vicario doesn't go to Juventus, I think De Zerbi will still use him as a goalkeeper anyway. But it just depends what happens during the season. Obviously, what you were saying about the back two and the back three is it's showing De Zerbi ball as at the moment. I think there's a little bit of yes and no in that. I think he doesn't want to show it off too much because it is just pre-season. Doesn't want to put out his full 11 that he does want to mainly start and throw all of his tactics out straight away to show everyone what he's going to be doing, how he's going to be working. But also it is showing people what he may or may not be thinking, because he needs to make sure that the tactics that he has in place and the system that he wants to have is going to work. Obviously, with Danzo's situation, I think we can all agree that was very silly for what he did. And it's sort of given me a bit of, when Romero first came to the club, he was going in for what I would essentially call Brexit tackles, left, right, and centre. And he was getting red cards like it was just getting thrown out in a sense. But
he had six in 5 seasons. That's all in 5 seasons.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing with him was he got 2 in 1 season. He got a 3-match ban followed by a 4th because of the 2 reds in the same season. So yeah, exactly. Rain, the goalkeeping, like with Kinski, I mean, it's such a vital position in a team that one error would undo all his good work with that fan base, wouldn't it? You're muted, mate.
Well, yeah, but the errors aren't coming.
No, they're not. No.
Again, Chelsea really pressed. Chelsea pressed hard, especially in that second half. And he continues to make the right decisions. Was actually a little bit concerned by some De Zerbi comments where he said that his distribution needs to be improved, because actually what I'm seeing is fantastic. He's passing it short. He's still passing it short when he needs to pass it short. And when there isn't a short option, and Vicario has repetitively proven that it's like he's a computer sprite. He's a computer character. And someone has set him to only pass short, and he can't. If there's no short option, he still goes and tries to pass it short because the program says only pass short. Whereas with Kinski, if there's no short option, he will go long. He will go long. So I'm hoping that the De Zerbi comments are not him trying to train that out of Kinski, because I think that's a real benefit that he's giving us at the moment. But his saves, we go back to Leeds at the end of the season.
One with his leg when we did a dodgy back pass. I think that was Robinson who tried to pass the ball back to him, and the player intercepted it and he saved it with his knee of fire. Right, I thought, oh my God. Because you kept thinking, well, I did thinking, I'm positive, but I kept thinking, well, the goal's coming, but why it doesn't come, I'm okay. Because, I'm okay with the game, because it's, at least with we've shown character. You know what I mean? If we were going to go down a goal or two, we'd shown good character, and I thought that was good. You know, but Jack and to you, Rain, as well. He's composed though, isn't he? He lets players get close to him, and he'll drag back the ball, kick it. You know, I mean, Rain, you know.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I mean, from what we've seen, I've had a chat with quite a few people. Quite a few people, you know, have concerns, and I can understand it. There's not a lot of data on Kinski. You know, there's not a lot of games that we've seen. So basing any sort of performance evidence on what we've seen is a bit risky because we haven't got a massive sample size. But the reality is that everything we've seen has been good. I mean, that save was in the second half. That save from Esteval was just fantastic. so good. And he's got. It feels like he's got lucky a couple of times. You know, that Leeds save where he's done a reaction save and then it's hit the bar. But you know, if it keeps on happening, fair play to you. It saves a save, right? It's just like if a striker hits the bar, well, that's a miss. So, you know, it is what it is. I will just say on Vicario, he was out there. I'm sure he was out there. I'm sure I saw him, Adrian, in a training video where they were playing with the goalkeepers were playing with a ball and a trampoline. They were throwing the ball on the trampoline and trying to catch it and so on and so forth. And I'm sure Vicario was in that video, and I think that's very disappointing. I hear what Jack's saying. You know, maybe he'll stay, but actually we need him to leave. We need him to leave because he's currently hogging a non-homegrown spot. We've just got Dubravka, who's another non-homegrown player. So we've got 3 non-homegrown goalkeepers, having gone, Adrian, from a couple of years ago where we had 3 academy trained goalkeepers. We've now got into the situation where we've got 3 non-homegrown goalkeepers, and
Austin's homegrown. He was Austin's homegrown. He was under 21 goalkeeper.
Yeah. But we've still got. Well, my point is, we've got Dubravka, Vicario, and Kinski.
Unless you bring in Gunter or Maguire from the under 21s.
Well, no, but you need to get. Jack's right. If Vicario's still at the club, he has to be listed. He's not going to be.
Vicario will be.
So it's still going to be 3 non-homegrown players, right? So we need to sell him. So for me, I wouldn't have taken him. I wouldn't have taken him on tour. I would have left him at home, and made it very, very clear. You need to work with your agent to get the exit. And you need to be very, we need to be harsh in that sense. We cannot spend 3 of our 17 non-homegrown spots on goalkeepers.
Right, before I come to Jack and you as well, Ryan, with Ben Davis, I'm going to go through the chat. So, good friend of mine in real life, lives in Cheshunt. Brian, big up, Brian. Good to see you. Listen to the show. Chris Barrett, big up, mate. Rain saying hello there, evening all. Simon Small. Yeah, know Simon as well. In real life, big up, Simon. Good evening to you, Nikaritsu. It sounds like a sort of Japanese name. I don't know if it is. You'll have to let us know in the chat, mate. Or if I pronounced it right, which I'll probably never do. Right. Are we maybe not overrun as a friendly gun French? Yeah, but Nikaritsu, I mean, my take on this is it's not just a matter of players' fitness and getting some patterns of play on the pitch, so that even those watching from the bench are watching the patterns of play, right? To me, what's very important in games is mental alacrity. That speediness is a fault between years, and you don't get on the training ground when there's no jeopardy, right? On the pitch, when we started playing these first games and we were sloppy, I'm thinking, you're not on it. The players aren't on it. You might be fit, but you need that speed of thought in your head, right, to get these passes off right. You close down in a split second most of the time, unless you hit a team on a break. So I don't know if my panelists agree with that or not, but I just think it's very important that with more game time, you get sharper and not just with your feet. Your thinking becomes better. You should be less prone to making errors as well. But I don't know if my guests agree with that or not. If you want to come in while I go through these. Yeah, but great preseasons, all fitness and technique. Yeah. There's more to pre-season than fans. Fans tend to diss it a bit, but we got to play these games, And fair play to De Zerbi, guys. Say Rain, if you want to come in on this, and I'll come to Ben Davis on Jack afterwards. But when are you going to play him? To be fairness, he's played quite a few kids, so he's had a good look at them.
Well, he's had to.
Yeah.
Who's he going to play? Who's he going to play?
It's a fair point. That is a fair point.
This is what I think. I was told last week while on a show. Why am I worried? There's plenty of time until the end of the window, and I think there's personally, I think there's a decent amount of people who just don't realise the amount of work that needs to happen in the transfer window. That's left to do. They've heard Tonali, Fernandez, Van Hecker, Senesi, Robertson, all great stuff, but there's still a huge amount of work that's left to do, and the later it's left, the fewer the options are, because the options are being snapped up, and the harder it will be, because the other clubs, if you want to go and get Igor Thiago from Brentford, say, it's a lot easier to do in the first 2 weeks of the window than it is to do in the last 2 weeks of the window, because Brentford in the last 2 weeks of the window will go, he's our number one, he's our 9 for this season, so, and we've got no time to get a replacement, so we're not selling. Whereas if it's in the first 2 weeks of the window, they've got plenty of time to go to sort it out. What can I say? He's had to play some of the younger. I mean, he has to play Solomon, for example, on the right hand side, because we've got no other right winger.
No, I mean, Kudos and Kulusevski are in full training. Actually, we got 40 odd of you watching us, listen to us on various platforms, and a lot of shows go out tonight. As Rain messaged me, I know that, but I'm not altering my times for anyone, right? So yeah, Decky, there's a video of Decky for those who are concerned. I mean, he needs his knee to be tested in challenging, but he was hitting some hard shots with his right and his left foot on the training ground, which I was good to see. So we'll see how he progresses. And even Kudus, I mean, we get a bit of this negativity regarding when they're coming back. The club has said they'll be back. They'll be back. Now, it might be a couple of weeks into the season, but they'll be back. So, and that'll help ease us on the right-hand side anyway. So, I just want
like I said, Adrian, they'll have missed all of this conditioning work that you should do during pre-season. And admittedly, we only got one game a week, so maybe that eases it up. But don't expect Kulusevski. I'm not expecting Kulusevski. Even if he's training now, he's been out for so long. I'm not expecting him back till October, November at the earliest.
I think I've got a more positive attitude. I think he'll be back before then. I think he'll be back at least within the first month of the season, 3 or 4 weeks.
Even with the way that De Zerbi is talking about protecting players coming back, I think he looks quite protective, mate.
Well, it depends if he's fit, and it depends how much we need him in Kudus as well. I mean, he won't rush them back, obviously, right? Just on this one, Ronnie, thanks for the comment, because it got my attention. FC Cologne or Cologne, yeah? If they want to sign Mikey Moore if he goes out of Germany, fine, because he's only 19 in August anyway, this month. I would like Syed Elmala on loan, not as a buy off you in return, then please FC Cologne, because then we don't, I mean, there's all talk of us, we'll get into transfers, but there's all talk of us getting players in. We don't have to buy them all. We can loan some. I love the loan to buy option, not the loan with obligation to buy. But Jack, back to you on Ben Davis. What did you say of his performance?
Ooh. I'll put it like this: I'm really happy that he's back, and he's got obviously another 12-month extended contract now, which will put him as our longest standing servant for after these next 12 months, because obviously since we lost Son last season, Ben Davies was the last one out of the people that have over 10 years. So he's got with him another 12 months, and also I personally say that he is pretty key, only because if we have mistakes like what Danzo did, and we need to bring on a experienced defender who's going to help us at the end of the game. Obviously, he was on the whole game for the Chelsea game anyway. But if we have, say, if one of Van de Ven or Van Hecker is injured and we have to play Danzo, and Danzo has a mistake like that, if he gets a yellow or he gets a red straight away, and we have to sacrifice a player for Ben Davies, then I know he'll put a shift in. Look, I love Ben Davies. I personally think he's a good player. Obviously, injuries have gotten the better of him sometimes, but he's clearly trying to work. He's clearly trying to work his way back in. Give his all for the next 12 months to get us into a better spot than what we've been in the last 2 years. And it just shows the type of person that he is. So obviously he wants to make his last 12 months probably another special one, apart from obviously the Europa League 2 years ago. But he wants to make this last 12 months a special season for him. Will he get a load of game time over Van de Ven and Van Hecker? And if Romero does stay, which from what you can see on all various platforms at this moment in time, I think is unlikely if Romero does stay at this point. If he does, then I don't think he's going to get played. But he's not going to stay at this point. He's probably going to go. So we're going to need another backup centre back as well as Danzo to have on the bench, and Ben Davies is going to be that man. And whoever the captain is next season, I think he'll be one of the vice captains for it. So if the captain does come off, he'll get the armband. Same as obviously what he did in Son's last game against Newcastle. So, but I think he had a very good game, passing the ball around, distributing, getting the ball over to Rio in that second half, and then obviously Rio doing what he did, the youngster. So he's another one of those centre backs like Van Hecker. When you can give him the ball, he wants to progress it forward. Doesn't want to keep passing it back and forth to the keeper or passing it around the back between each defender. He wants to get it forward. He wants to create it for the midfielders to make chances. So I think overall I was quite happy with his game.
Welcome, Rowley. We're talking about the Chelsea game, talking about individual performances, any eye-catching ones, and we were just talking about Ben Davies. What was your take on Ben Davies?
He did quite well, actually. He didn't really put a foot wrong, did he, Ben Davies, to be fair? He sort of linked the play up well, didn't he? I can't really fault him, really. He's just Ben Davies, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, he's Mr. Reliable, wasn't he?
He made a very good interception when he was behind the ball, when Neto was virtually through. I think it was Pedro, wasn't Neto, it was the other guy, wasn't it? He was virtually through on our goal in the first half, and he made a couple of other timely interceptions as well. He sort of goes unnoticed, but his tackles and his interceptions and his heading, I mean, he's good. I mean,
he just lost a bit of pace, isn't he? That's the only.
In an ideal world, we should have better in the squad, because you can't holding up the pathway for other players or whatever. But just on the defense, I'll come to you, Rain, on the defenders. What's your take on Malachi Hardy?
I'm very reticent to talk about players who are under 21, or especially under 20s, because, by the time they're 18, they should be technically competent. Otherwise they shouldn't be. Otherwise they wouldn't be in the academy.
No, they wouldn't.
What you really want from? So he is technically competent, right? Let's get that on the level. He looks like he knows what he's doing. But what you really want from, what you really want to learn from young men between the age of 18 and 21 is how they can progress. So for the starters between the age of 18 and 21, you develop hugely emotionally and physically, massively. But what you really want to see from these young men is, can they be challenged and then step up? And that happens through a season, like Lancashire did last season. Lancashire went out to Oxford, didn't start brilliantly, knuckled down, got on with it, and by the middle of the season, he was their number one striker. He scored a decent amount of goals in the championship, and that's what you want. You don't. Obviously, we all want the moon shots. We all want the Yamals, the Rooneys, the Messis, who are going to come through and be absolute superstars. But they're so few and far between that you can't plan for them. But what you can plan for is a young lad who's going to come in and is technically competent, has the physical attributes, and understands that you need to work hard, because when they come into the Premier League, they will never be ready. They will never be ready. They need to. You get ready by playing games in the Premier League. That's the way you get ready. That's the way that happened with Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard. All these players, John Terry. None of them started in the Premier League and were instantly fantastic. Rio Ferdinand, right? I remember him at West Ham. It was all knees. Yeah. None of these players started out as superstars, but they worked. Harry Kane, right? They worked hard, and that's what you really want to learn between the age of 18 and 21. So Malachi Hardy, is he gonna take a leaf out of Lancashire's book or Skip's book, right, and work hard and be able to step up? Or is he going to be like, I'm sorry to say, is he going to be like some of our other, Dorrington, who was in the same position?
Ash Phillips.
I think Ash Phillips I think Ash Phillips might be. He's got another year.
I think they're going to sell him to Middlesbrough. They took Lancashire. I think they want Ash Phillips as well.
Yeah, but I mean, at Stoke, he went and solidified himself, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I think Ash Phillips is an example of where he's gone and shown that he can do it.
Some of these kids, they look like
Scarlett's
a
great example.
They're massive.
Scarlett's great.
He's big. Juno Byfield's like 17 and he's massive, right?
But sometimes it's a problem, because sometimes that means that at 17, 18 they've never had to strive, and they've never learned how to strive, and then they plateau and they don't get better, right? So even if they've got the physicality, they still need that mentality and the character to overcome adversity. And Scarlett's a great example. He had all the talent, all the attributes, and he's for one reason or another, he's never really pushed on. He's never done what Lancashire did at Oxford, which is go to a club.
In fairness to him, he went to Scotland. He went to, when McKenna was at charge at Ipswich, they took him on loan. I blame our recruitment team for this, right? I mean, I've gone on about this on so many, because I am a big defender of the academy. Even I know that 99.9% of those players are never going to make it with our club, right? But he didn't get played. Now, to me, if you've got a recruitment team, Rain, you take the profile of that player and you apply him to the profile of the club that wants to loan him to see if they really need him, right? And we put a rule in like you've got now. You don't play our players. We hook them back in January or something like that, or we hook them back even earlier. Because we want the players to play games. We want them to develop. If they do develop, fine, we'll sell them. Most of them. What we're going to sell, 99% of them or whatever. So, yeah.
it's a bit chicken and egg,
Mm.
Adrian. It's not what it's not completely the lone Eves club's fault if they don't play him. It's not 100% the player's fault if the lone E club doesn't play him. But what it looks like when it happens repetitively, yeah. What's the phrase? If you're walking around and it smells like poo, right? Maybe lift up your shoe and have a look under your shoe, right? Maybe it's you.
Yeah.
That's, and that's the problem with Scarlett. It's so repetitive that you do wonder if he's going to those clubs and he's just kind of going through the motions and he's waiting for something to happen. And it's quite clear. I don't know. Do you remember seeing that? Sorry, I don't want to dominate the. But if you saw the Lancashire YouTube videos that he did and came out, it's quite clear that he embedded himself in Oxford and he made it very, very hard for them to not consider him as part of the club.
But Rain, send him to if you let someone to Lancashire who plays defensive football, ain't going to do him any good at all, are you? Do you know what I mean? You've got to send him to the right club. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Jack, I mean, you alluded to Rio Kira Martin, who actually, when I watched him play in academy, as a midfielder with a good touch, right? And you can see he's got a good touch. We obviously don't know if he's going to make it.
He's got a lovely pass on him.
Yeah, and it showed on the pitch, and like we've all alluded to, we don't know what positions these players will finally end up because he's played at both fullback positions, right? And he hasn't looked. It's friendlies, I know, but coaches can only be guided by what you actually see. I mean, if you're all anti academy, why don't we just shut it up and pack up and go? I mean, that's not what it's. That's not what it's for. It's for the hope that the 1 in 100 players or 150 player does come through. Because Kane was crap on all his loans. He was at Millwall and Norwich and Leicester. And they were going to sell it for $300,000 to Sherwood. So you don't know. Some of these players look really good. You think they're going to kick on and they don't. And others don't look that good and they mature like an Ian Wright and they become good. You know what I mean? So it's not an exact science at the training ground, but what was your take on Kira Martin? Good shot that clipped the bar.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much what I was just about to say. A really good shot that clipped the bar. Look, we're obviously these pre-season games it's not always about how the manager's going to set up and how he's going to be playing throughout the whole season. He's also giving all the other kids a run out. Like I would have liked to see most of the kids that we have sold off in this run out. Like, I'd love to see Will Lancashire in this run out. I would have liked to see Alfred Devine in this run out. Obviously, we couldn't have that, especially and also with Vuskovic as well. We couldn't see him in this run out like we did last year. But I like seeing the kids have a run out. I like seeing like managers give the kids a bit more of a test. Like obviously Chelsea did put out not obviously all of their starting players. They put out mostly kids, and you had Cole Palmer, João Pedro, Esteval, and a couple of other players, and so on and so forth. So it was nice to see all these players get their run outs. And obviously back on Rio again, I can't remember who the actual player was that he done that turn on and just sat down. I don't know if it was a senior player for Chelsea or just another one of those kids. But at the same time, even if it was one of the kids, there's still a player that plays in the same sort of background as him for the unders. So if they know he can do that, then they should have been more aware that he can do that. Now, I think I've said it through the whole of last season. I don't like seeing players play out of position. Like we had Archie Gray playing right back again. Obviously, that's not any fault to anyone's own. Pedro's still coming off of a massive however many week bender of winning the World Cup. Same as Spence. He's coming off getting third place for England. And there are two main right backs that we can use. And Archie Gray being given captain, De Zerbi said he obviously doesn't like playing right back, but when you're being captain, you've got to be a bit more. You've got to focus more on the team as a whole, more than just yourself. And Archie Gray showing that being captain and playing right back against Chelsea showed that he's willing to do it. Hopefully, with what De Zerbi's planning, he's never going to play right back again or centre back again. Hopefully. I thought he was going to get moved centre back and then someone come on the right hand side when Danza got sent off. But he made the right choice of bringing on an actual defender than just chopping and changing the players that you already had on, or just playing a free back in overall. But I love seeing the kids have a run out. They're trying to prove their worth to the manager as much showing that the under 21s manager and the under 18s managers that they're still worth a spot in their starting 11 as well as ours. But like you were saying, not all these players are going to get the chance to play top level for our club, and it is upsetting half the time because that's the reason why they've come to us to train in our academy and play for the team. And if they love the team, they love the team. Like with the Mikey Moore stuff, for example, if he goes to FC Cologne on loan, great, it gives him a bit more of experience. When he turns 19, he comes back. I think he'd be one of those rotation players, but I don't want to sell off a player like Mikey Moore at all whatsoever. I want him. He obviously loves the club to bits. He wants to stay at the club. That's why he takes the loans. But when you were saying about the loan that he had where he didn't even play, I think there is some sort of agreement that he needs to have X amount of games in order for him to stay for the whole season. Otherwise, we just recall them and then send them back out, which I think we did for a handful of players, to be fair, not just last season, but the season before.
We should have an option to recall them at any time, not January, at any time. That puts the clubs that go under pressure. But you're getting a player free or you're just paying his wages, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're paying a fee on top. You know, it's not like you're paying a renowned pro $5 million to loan him, then paying his wages on top or something like that, you know?
Exactly. They're just paying like an obligation of $5 million just to have the player on loan, apart from not because obviously they would subsidise some of his wages, we'd subsidise the rest, which probably for us and giving players of the youngsters to lower leagues, we subsidise probably majority of the wages, and they just pay us like a loan fee of $5 million. Like I've seen a couple, like you've seen a couple of players that are from other teams that are going out on £5 million loan fees now at the moment. So they're obviously putting all that stuff in place in those sort of ways. But I think for Mikey Moore and the same with Dane Scarlett, I mean he's been with us since he was young. So he's another one of those players that we can send out on loan, but at some point he's probably going to get a little bit bored of being on loan. Now, is he going to turn out like Harry Kane, not have amazing times at his loan teams? Then when he breaks through into the first team, he's going to be amazing. Not everyone's going to be like that. So, but obviously there's always that one player that is a miss on loan but hits at the club, and that's who Harry Kane was. And that's obviously why we miss him so dearly. But at the same time, you're not going to have that with everyone. Are we going to have that with Luca Williams-Barnett? Everyone's given hype on him at the moment. And you can see it. He's a very, very good looking kid. He's great. He's so good in the position that he plays. Is he going to break? Is he going to be like that? Yeah, it's 100%. Is he going to be like that when he breaks into the first team? You want him to be, because we need homegrown forwards like him in the team. Now we've still got a lot of spots of homegrown players, like what Ryan was saying with all the three goalkeepers that we have. We've got three keepers that aren't English, and then we just got Brandon Austin because the other one retired and went on to photography. I can't remember his name now. It's been that Alfie Whiteman. That's it. Yeah. Alfie Whiteman. He obviously went on to go and do photography. He retired from football because he was just sat there on the bench getting bored. He wasn't going to break through, and you can sort of see it with Brandon Austin as well. Is he going to do the exact same thing? And if he does, we have three goalkeepers that aren't English. We have a lot of players out on the pitch that aren't English, apart from Archie Gray. You've got Italians. You've got a lot of Netherlands now bringing in Van Hecker. You've got Van Hecker, Mickey van der Ven, and Javi Simmons. The only Brazilian we have is Richarlison, because obviously we don't have Mikey Moore anymore. And you've got and all the other ones. So we need more homegrown players. Need more English in our team.
Yeah,
but do we think it's going to be the academy players? You're never going to know unless we buy them. Unless we buy homegrown players in to have that criteria filled.
We have 7.
There's not a lot that's going to happen. So we have 7. Yeah.
I mean, and that's more than we've had. Well, normally we have 6, and we lose 2 players when we're in Europe, but we're not in Europe. I mean, like I've got a banner with somewhere. But Rowley, I'll come to you while I search for this banner. You'll know as well as I do, going back. You go back a few decades like I do. That
Yes, mate.
before, you'd have 10 pros in the team and you'd bring in one kid to blood them. And they'd be surrounded by pros that look after them. But now we got 4 kids in the team before you've got a pathway
It's
for
just no
academy.
good,
You've got
mate.
Tell and Odebert when he's fit, and you've got Gray and you've got Bergvall. I mean, so if you're going to bring in buy-in players like that, don't get me wrong, we'll make money out of Vuskovic. We'll make good money out of Bergvall, whatever price he goes for. I think he's going. We'll talk about that later, maybe. Yeah. So it's this. We sort of like. We prevent a pathway by bringing in young players, though, don't we?
We block them. Yeah, we're blocking them all the time by bringing in these European kids in. It's blocking our own pathway for our own kids. It's terrible what they're doing, really, because these kids they're very talented, and with the right nurturing and putting an arm around them, they could be something else. I tell you, Luca Williams Barnett has shown so much in these pre games of the season. That kid is going to be something else. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
He
might
will
not
be
be
good.
with us though.
Yeah, but this is the thing, because we can't give him the game time, can we? Do you know what I mean?
Well, only 3% of, if you can AI this or what, only 3% of academy players, and even at elite clubs, right, actually make it to be a part of a 25-man squad, let alone get game time. That's how thin it is in a Premier League, right? It's different abroad. They're blooded
Well, it's now
youngsters.
we
They ain't
ain't
got the
Europe
money to
and
go
things
and
like
fix
that. We can't fit them in.
No.
You know,
And
if
it's
we
a
had Europe
shame.
and things like that, and like games, group games and things like that, we can fit them in somewhere. You know, if we were up a few games, but with the Premiership, it's so tight, isn't it? You know,
But
you've
there's
got
still
such
the players will still come. People say they won't want to come. They will, because one, we pay them. Kids get good money, right? They get good money, more money than adults. And so if you come at Spurs and like the teams at different levels have nicked trophies over the last 3 or 4 years, you'll come because all footballers like to win a trophy, and then you'll take it from there. And then if you don't get the pathway, because when you're 16, you can sign a scholarship for 2 years.
But
and
the
a 1
thing
year
is, our academy are winning trophies. Do you know what I mean? They're winning trophies as a team. They're showing that what they can do. Yet the pathway's blocked at the very top, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is the problem.
Yeah.
They're very talented kids, what we got in the academies. Very talented.
Yeah, but they also have to step up, don't they? So, you've got that issue as well. Where am I on the banners? Let's have a look down here. Right, okay. So
I got shot down. I got shot down the other day.
Go on.
When I said that on stream that Luca Williams Barnett, people need to just lay off the kid because he's quite tall, but he's 17 years old, right? He's so young we can't loan him out, right? And
I keep saying he's got to grow into his body a little bit, and they're going, "What do you mean by that?" And you know what I mean? But they have to.
Absolutely.
They have to fill out and they have to muscle up.
But he also needs, look, I've got a decent job, but age 18 to 21, I did a lot of jobs. Like I worked in pubs, I worked in distribution centres, I did pot washing in the post office, in the post office head office distribution centre, and I learned how to graft. And I
was
learned
13 when I
how
got my
to-
first job, glass collecting around the holiday camps.
Yeah, I mean, at age 13,
Fiver a
I was
night.
doing. Age
Fiver a
13,
night.
I was doing 2 paper rounds, Rowley. Something else that the kids don't do these days. Youngsters, and 17 is still young. They need to learn how to do a job, and that's what Luca Williams Barnett. Luca Williams Barnett has been protected all his life. He's had safety net all his life. I believe. I don't think he's like Delhi, who had a difficult upbringing, and they need to be put in a position like Mikey Moore was last season. To be fair, right? Adrian went to Rangers, and it looked like it was all going tits up,
Yeah.
didn't it, at the start? and Mikey Moore actually showed some gumption, showed some and worked his way through it.
Didn't they get another manager in though?
Yeah.
They got another manager in.
And he's got 7
halfway through
goals
the
up
season.
there, didn't he? I mean, not a fantastic amount. He got 7 goals. All the balls went through him when you go and watch all the highlights. I've watched this kid since he's like been so high, you know what I mean? And
they want him back. Rangers want him back.
Yeah, they're not getting him though. He needs to go. He needs to step up higher. He needs
to get another level now. Yeah,
stiffer competition he needs now.
I think that Colne loan would be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
They've got.
I want him to go to Dortmund.
Yeah, they're good with kids, Dortmund.
Thing is, Dortmund don't develop for other clubs. They develop for themselves.
Yeah.
Because they'll be
that's
after
half the hook, isn't it?
thing,
We know what these clubs are really doing. Let's be fair. They want to get your young player in, give him game time, show him lots of love in case they can steal him for a low amount of money. That's what they want, right? So we know that. But we do the same because, like I said earlier, you get a kid, he can sign a 2-year scholarship with a 1-year professional contract. We've just nicked a midfielder off of West Ham, right? Yeah. I mean, and like they will nick ours. If ours get to 18 and they're impatient, one of our players, Tynan Thompson's just gone to Man United for 8 mil though. That's right. You know, 4 mil with 4 million add-ons. He looked a good left back. I've seen him play absolutely have worldy games, and I've seen him have crap games as well though. Yeah. So I'm not, you know, but then he's young, you know. So you're going to get that. Let's move on to the transfer news. But before we do that, look, guys, we've been going nearly an hour. We've got over 60 of you viewing us on various platforms, which is brilliant. I'm loving the support, especially as there's so many shows out there. And we've got you in the chat as well. So, like, big up to you all. If you like the channel and the content, the conversations we have, we pride ourselves in bringing you interesting content, fact-based, and good guests, you know, knowledgeable guests, well-informed guests. You can see the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner. Please hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. Big up to you all in the chat, the regular loyal supporters in there as well. And thank you for your comments and questions. We'll move on to the transfer. And what I did, I've done 7 players. I put the stats there. I put the ones up where I think we should be going. But and I put the stats of them up there. So, Rowley, I'll come with you, then I'll come with Rain, and then we'll go to Jet, right? Foreign tourists, right? 352 appearances. Now, that'll be wherever he's been, right? 89 goals, 41 assists. That's 130, isn't it? So,
he's a obviously useful player, don't get me wrong, but you know, is he prolific enough? Do you know what I mean? He's good. He's good in the air. You know, I didn't really see a lot of him at Man City because he didn't really get that much time, did he?
No.
So, do you know what I mean? What I saw him in the World Cup, he looked a very useful player. That's all I could say, really. With Barcelona, he's at Barcelona. He's been nurtured the best you could ever get. He's got the best
the winner in a World Cup final,
coaching and things, yeah.
We're all pleased to see that going.
Well, exactly. So, you know, I mean, we desperately need strikers, Tottenham Hotspur. So Tottenham Hotspur, if he's available, get him in. I'm not against it. But today's rumours just blew me out the window. Do you know what I mean?
We may be debunking some of them, like, but we run shows to talk about them, you know. So, Rain, would you take Torres?
I think he's a fantastic player. I do worry that he is a classic La Liga baller and someone who doesn't fit in the Premier League. He's not quite got the physicality to fit in the Premier League. And I don't know. I mean, the Man City Rowley was about, was it like 4 or 5 years ago, I think?
Yeah.
It was 4 or 5 years ago. So it was a
while. We were looking at him back then when he was a kid. We were looking at him.
Yeah.
So it was a while ago. Bit difficult to sort of pin that on him, but
that's grown up now,
that's the worry. The worry is he a bit light for the Premier League? You know, when you've got in the Premier League, you got centre halves like Tarkowski and Burns, who would just bully you, and you need to bully them back. That's why Thiago got 22 goals last season, because he could bully some of these players. Even that's why Krupi looks so good, because he's got a bit of physicality about him. That's my worry. I don't really know. I'm a little bit on the fence.
Jack, anything to add, or I'll move you on to the next player?
I'll probably echo what they both said. You didn't really see much of it, Man
It
City.
just reminds me of another Llorente. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, Jack.
Better than the lamppost.
I think he's a bit better than Llorente and a lot better than Vincent Janssen as well. But I'll probably but the same thing. I'd echo what they both said. Didn't see him much at Man City. If it was, then it's probably cup games where it wasn't that much of a competition for him.
Okay.
Possibly. And then moved him up. Then obviously he moved off to Barcelona. Obviously, him being Spanish, he not sort of knows that league a little bit more than what he did the Premier League. And obviously he's living it up there. He's just come off of what I'd probably say is an amazing tournament for Spain at the World Cup. So yeah, I think there's definitely some pros towards him, but there's definitely some cons and some liabilities to him as well. Would he be used to the physicality of the Premier League? Obviously him being at Man City for X amount of years, didn't get much of a game time.
Are in the UK, Jack. I believe they're in the UK. The little bit, there might have been a Freudian slip by De Zerbi when he said, "I'm a shark, I get what I want," because apparently Ferran Torres' nickname is the Shark. So I mean, like, read into that what you want, but it is.
But you can't always read into these things. Like when he said about the bomber when he said there's a bomber happening, it'll be soon. And then he backtracks saying it means something different in Italian than it does in English. Yeah. So you can't always take it. You got to take these things by a pinch of salt majority of the time. So anyone can back. A lot of teams backtrack on potential signings all the time. Like they say, "Oh, we're definitely going to get this person. He wants to come here. He's going to be 100%." And they just don't show up. So him saying shark and saying there's one imminent and changing it, does that mean that the shark of Torres is coming? You never know. But I think if he does come, fantastic bit of business, but there's still a bit of a liability and still a couple bits of concerns with him, especially when it comes to the Premier League. Yeah,
his GA for the 352 appearances could be a tad better, in my opinion. But I'll come to you on this one, Rain. I think I know your reaction. Right, Dusan Vlahovic, 241 appearances. This is professional, 93 goals, 17 assists. So he's got 110 assists in GA and 241 appearances. I'm biased. I like this player, but most Spurs fans I've talked to, and even in the WhatsApp group, none of them want him apparently. So I'm not expecting Rain to be different. Rain, what's your take on this guy?
I think the closer we get to the end of the transfer window, or the closer we get to the start of the Premier League, the more attractive he gets. I think that for sure. And he's currently out of contract. It's quite odd that he hasn't been snapped up, because that's almost one in.
I think that's because not only his wages are high, he's willing to take 150, 160k a week and come to the Premier League. But because he's on a free, the agent will probably want 10 mil bung, and because you're getting a player without a transfer fee, he might want a massive signing on fee, tens of millions. He might want 10, 20, 30 million signing on fee. I mean. And if you were going to be sold, if he was at 2 years left on his contract or more where he is, he would be going for at least 50 mil anyway, wouldn't he? I forget what they paid off him off of Fiorentina. Or was it Atalanta? I can't remember. Right,
it was Fiorentina. I'm not really seeing the point, Adrian. So what you're saying is that if a club was buying him, they'd be spending 50 million, but they're probably going to be spending the same or a little bit less because he's on a free. It doesn't really. The fact is that he is still out of contract a couple of weeks after leaving. It's Juve, wasn't it? And doesn't seem to be going anywhere. I don't.
There's
see
no noise in the British media. There might be noise.
I don't see any chatter. And you would have thought that a couple of Premier League clubs would have been sniffing around a player like Vlahovic. He's still only like 27, isn't he?
Still 27, yeah.
Because he obviously exploded at Fiorentina at a very, very young age. I think that's the player. So these numbers look decent. It looks like basically 1 and 2. But actually, I think the reality is Fiorentina Vlahovic, if I'm right, was like 2 and 3, and Juve Vlahovic is like 1 in 3.
Right.
And that's what clubs see. They see a player who has not hit the heights once he's gone onto the big club.
What we don't know, Ray, what we don't know to add to the figures, because this is why there's so many variables with stats, right? And they're not an exact science. We don't know the style of football that Fiorentina played, and we don't know the style of football Juventus were playing at the time. Whether Juventus played to his strengths or not, or whether they're a bit more of a cautious team, whereas maybe Fiorentina throw a caution to the wind or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I mean, so that could have a big bearing on the way a player plays, if he suits your system.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm look. The closer we get to the start of the transfer window, the more attractive he gets. That's the harsh reality.
Rolly, do you like him?
Is he better than Richie and Solanke? Probably.
Probably, yeah. He's a menace in the box. What I've seen of him, I've watched him a few times. Yeah, he could be a right menace in the box, but
I've watched him international level. All right, he does some good things. He's got good technique. He's good technique, better technique than
strong.
Trampoline Richarlison.
Have we got players that can do that? Do you know what I mean? Already, probably with Solanke, haven't we? We've got strong players. We need some players with an eye for goal at the moment. And
as we've got no wingers as such, if it was me, I would have liked to have seen, if we had fit wingers, so we had Savino and Kudus or Decky or whatever, I'd like to have seen Tell given a go down the middle, because he's got that movement and all that, and he's only missing goals to his game. But I'd like to have seen that. But
just not sold on him. He's got a good. Right. He could score a corner. He can hit a good dead ball, but he misses more than that he hits, doesn't he?
I'll stay with you on this one and go to Jack. I mean, this guy Hendrick's been mentioned. 124 professional appearances.
He is class.
41 goals, 11 assists. To be honest, I haven't watched a lot of this guy.
I can't see him going anywhere with him.
No. I think we'll move on. I think whether you think there's any rumours in this or you want to debunk this, Jack, or whatever, Victor Osimhen, in his career, 338 appearances, 201 goals, 52 assists, in his professional career. I don't know all the clubs he's been with. We know he was at Napoli. Something weird happened at Napoli because they imploded. Kvaratskhelia, whatever you pronounce his name, went. And then he chose Turkey, which that was a bit baffling at the time. But unless he's just gone there for the tax-free money.
Well, this is the thing.
I think Napoli had they had ownership problems.
Yeah, they had a little bit of a falling out with him or something, didn't they?
Yeah, but it was in that time in Italy where there was quite a few ownership problems. There was a couple of Chinese ownerships that went to the wall. And I think that's what happened at Napoli, really.
Jack, his GA is fantastic, though.
Oh, the numbers are great, 100%, and obviously some of the numbers are obviously from Turkey as well. And I think two of the goals that he got in his 338 appearances, including for Galatasaray, is against us in the Champions League. Because he's got 2 goals.
When Lancashire scored and got sent off. Yeah,
that as well. But look, he's got fantastic numbers. He's very tall, so he can definitely be versatile in the air. And I think out of majority of the names, I want to sort of put it in a way that he's probably one out of the many sexier names that you could see in a transfer window, in a sense, just because of everyone was going on about him when Napoli were having their troubles, and a lot of different teams really wanted him, and he ended up going to Turkey.
This is where we lost out, wasn't it? I mean, as soon as Kane was going, we should have went straight in for Victor Osimhen before, when he was at Napoli.
Yeah, or of a striker exactly the same as him. when
weren't
Kane
many
was
about,
leaving.
was there?
Yeah,
There weren't many
and
about, and then we went.
I
and
didn't
got-
want.
We
I
just
didn't
stuck
want
with the
Son.
Charlatan at
I
that
thought
point.
we could have got
Yeah,
another
Charlatan.
season out of Son. I thought we could have got another season because we didn't replace him. You know?
No, didn't replace him at all. I think one small bit of news that I've just seen from X just as of this moment from Fabricio. Barcelona have actually now just said that Ferran Torres, they're going to keep Ferran Torres, and if they're going to sell him to anyone, it's going to be PSG. So I think for Ferran Torres, he's completely out the window as a person for us now. From what I can see,
fair.
that's just coming through. So I thought I'd just throw that out there just for now, since we was on the topic of possible transfers and rumours and debunking them. Now I can debunk the Ferran Torres shout.
Yeah, I think PSG have got a decent forward line already, don't you?
I think they already do. I mean, they've got that Gonzalo Ramos. He's got
Yeah.
or I don't know if he's left.
I think he's
No,
gone
he is-
somewhere.
Oh, no,
Doué,
he has gone off. Yeah, he has.
Doué,
So you've got
yeah,
Doué, you've got Dembele,
Kvaratskhelia.
you've got
You've got-
Kvaratskhelia, you've got Barcola still.
yeah.
They're
We
already
don't
quite
need-
stacked. So
I think
can have
I
Ferran
think we
Torres.
would need.
They just
Torres
got
more than
they
would.
linked with Mika Götze as well, aren't they?
Yes.
Apparently as well.
From Ajax, yeah, the winger.
Because I reckon that's going to be a replacement for Barcola when Barcola goes to live wherever he's going. Do you know what I mean? I think
Probably Liverpool
they're
at this
going to
stage.
get Mika Götze in for Barcola.
Well, I'll come to you, Rowley, and then I'll come to Rain and then go back up, right? But the next three I'll put on the list are in the Premier League. That's what I mean.
Whoa. Can I talk about Osman?
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would absolutely love us to
Okay.
get Victor Osman.
I would.
Absolutely
We could
love
all
us.
definitely agree on this.
to get- This guy has scored goals
Everywhere.
wherever he has gone. It doesn't matter where he's gone, he's scored goals. He is a natural born finisher. I don't care if he's had, if he's fallen out with a player or a coach here. I don't care, right? It's get him in front of De Zerbi, get them talking, and see if a deal can be done. And if a deal can be done, get this player to Tottenham Hotspur Football Club.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rowley, we move on to the next three, like I said, are in the Premier League. And my belief is these are the ones we're actually going for, right? Right. So this guy has got good numbers, Rashford. There's rumours about, we do have these rumours about attitude with players and things like that, but we don't know, do we? We're not at these clubs.
No, I mean, to be quite honest, he was good when he was at Man United. He went to Barcelona. I've not really watched Barcelona, so I can't really tell you how
Well,
he
won the
performed.
league. He won the league.
Yeah, I mean,
Played quite well there actually as well.
but he seems to hit and miss as well, doesn't he? I mean, he's very. I don't know what his goal ratio is.
It's the 1 and 2 GA here. It's 1 in
Just 1
2,
and 2,
which is
is
good. For a winger, that's very good.
Yeah. Well, that's
I
fair.
don't know how many times he played
And
for
he's already said he won't come to Spurs, though, hasn't he?
Well,
He's a couple
my
of times
argument
he
with that-
said this
let me
summer.
just counter that and see what you feel and get the others' opinions on it. My argument with that is, okay, you don't want to come to Spurs, you want top football, but Barcelona don't want you. They've let you go, right? Real Madrid don't want you. Atletico Madrid don't want you. Bayern have got Kane and great wingers there, Alicia and all that. They don't want you. PSG don't want you. Where do you think you're going to some elite club that's left? I mean, you could go
That's the
back
thing,
to
innit?
Villa, but they've got their wages to revenue turnover was about 90%. They needed him off the books, right? That basically, Chelsea, Arsenal could go for him on the left. They could, right? Chelsea, well, you've got Neto and you've got Morgan and you've got.
They've just bought Morgan Rogers.
The
Yeah,
only space with a club
They don't
is
need him. That basically leaves us.
Newcastle. That's the only thing.
Well,
Newcastle would have him.
yeah.
Well, okay. Us,
They're
Newcastle,
decimated.
probably, and possibly Arsenal on the left, because unless they get going unless somehow they spunk up like 300 million and get Vinicius Junior, right? So, yeah, I think he's left field for us, but he's not out of the question. I think he and his agent need to lower their expectations. I don't know what you guys think.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll take him because we really do need a goal scoring left midfielder, don't we? Left winger. You know what I mean? And he can cut in and score. The thing is, like I say, he thinks he's too good for Spurs, don't he? And to someone who says no, I don't want to be at Spurs, I don't want him. You know what I mean? Because I want someone who would be
And
proud
unless
to put on his
that's
shirt.
just media speculation, you might have said before, I don't want to come before we've had this big spend. But what's your take, Rain? He's not got a lot of options, I don't think, if he wants to go to a club where he expects to win things or whatever.
This is what I think. All the talk has been about your boy Savio, right? And Savio is a get down the touchline, beat your man, put a cross in. Yeah, that's what he does. He's a beat your man player. You know, that's why his goals are never very high, but his assists in a couple of his seasons have been, you know, really, really good, because that's his beef, and that's fine. Rashford isn't that player. Rashford, you know, and this is what and Gakpo and Rashford for me are very similar type, you know, in left-sided forwards.
Everyone's
They don't do a
audio's
lot of-
gone tits up. I don't know if it's me. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah.
you, but you
Okay,
froze.
we might settle down in a minute.
Yeah, you froze. But I can hear you.
There's a lot of
Gakpo and
podcasters been having trouble with the YouTube recently. So
it looks like you've got an internet connection problem there, Adrian. I think I can still see Jack and Rowley sort of moving around. Yeah, and there he goes. Anyway, right, I'm just going to carry on without him. So Gakpo and Rashford are very similar to me. I don't know what you think, guys. They're not going to track back a lot. You know, they're gonna do the majority of their work inside the other team's half. They're really kind of left-sided strikers almost. Yeah, they're almost left-sided strikers, if I can put it that way. And so it's a bit odd that we've had all of this Savinio thing for all of this time, and now the talk is Rashford and Gakpo. So I don't I don't understand. Me personally, I would love Rashford, right?
okay.
And I would love Gakpo. I don't know if you and similarly,
We're going to come
I
on
would
to him.
love
We're going to come on to Savino.
but something that these stats don't tell about Rashford is he plays games. He is now clearly he could come to Spurs and he's going to get tested, right? But the guy plays and plays and plays and plays and plays. If you look at his history, and he's got a lot of history, even though he's I guess 28, but he's been playing at, you know, he started at Man United quite young.
We don't know about players.
He's got three or 4,000 minutes a season. He's just like clockwork, you know. He will just play. Which
he
is
may not have got on.
need.
They've had quite a few managers at Man United. He may not have got on with them. You know, there's other players.
Carrick apparently likes him though.
Well, then they'll keep him.
This is what I'm thinking.
You know,
this is what I think. The Carrick's going to keep him.
And he might be happy to stay. And he probably would be happy to stay because I don't see him getting a top move. I think we're probably one of his best options. And those options are very limited.
Yeah. I think he'll stay at Man United, to tell the truth.
I'm sure we'll all take him. Okay. Let's move on to this guy. Cody Gakpo, 364 professional appearances, 122 goals, 95 assists. Good numbers.
They are brilliant.
And we are strongly linked with this guy. This is I think we're getting him actually, but it's just got to wait for a few dominoes to drop. Jack?
Oh yeah, you definitely got to wait for a few dominoes to drop if we are going to get him. But I'll go back to what Rain was just saying about Gakpo and Rashford. They're pretty much similar in a way, but with Rashford, he's played a lot more games, and that is pretty much what he's known for. But I think if we're going to go for either of them, I think that in a massive sense, the cheaper option is Gakpo. It's only because of how much Rashford wants as wages and how much we're going to obviously have to put money in for him. Now, I've obviously seen I've seen in a lot of different places on Twitter, on all various different platforms, that if we are going to get Gakpo, we're going to have to put in. We're going to have to. I think Liverpool want to keep him, but if he was tempted by a move away, it's got to be a massive transfer fee. Now it's going to be between probably about 70 to 90 in that case. If that's what all the chat is saying online, it's going to be around in that point. And then his wages are going to be, well, I don't know. I can't remember how much he is on at the moment at Liverpool, but to go from a club that's in European football to come down to a club that isn't in European football, he's going to want his wages to be high. So you've also got to factor in that. Now, they're not going to be as high as what Rashford wants. And I don't think I think the transfer fee is going to obviously be a little bit higher than what Rashford is, but you've got to think about all the other aspects. Now, I think Gakpo's got a couple of years left on his contract. And he's currently now in the first team spot for Liverpool. And he'd be in the first team spot for us because we need someone on the left side. I don't think he's not an all-out striker. He's not an all-out number 9, which is pretty much what we need to be improving and what we need. But at the same time, we also do need left-sided wingers because the only person that we really realistically have is Tel, with Odegaard still injured. Which I completely forgot about Odegaard, to be honest, because I haven't seen him in ages. But he is still injured, and that's another left-sided player that we don't have. So all we have is Tel. Not to be rude to him.
Don't think anybody can blame you, Jack.
Yeah, but I'm not being rude to him in any way, shape, or form. I love the guy. He's a good player, and he's done quite well since coming over from Burnley. But he's injured. I haven't seen him. I completely just sort of backtracked on that and didn't mention it. So we only have one left-sided winger that we can actually play, and that is Tel, and that's what he's been doing the whole pre-season and for the last however many games of last season, and probably the majority, because it's obviously the first season we haven't had Son. So we do need a player that can play on that left side, and I think if it's going to be out of the two, it obviously then being Rashford and Gakpo sort of being similar on that left side in a way. Gakpo is going to probably be the man that a lot of people are probably going to say yes to over Rashford. Not because of it being cheaper, not like wages wise, but that sort of factors into it. But I think it's also because of I'd more or less say not really the attitude. It's just the way that they both are. In a way, like Rashford thinks he is the biggest one there. He thinks he's the Cristiano Ronaldo reincarnated from Man United.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he obviously moved over wanted that loan move to Barcelona. He wanted to make that move to Barcelona, but they thought, no, your wages are a little bit too big. We're going to overspend and pay for Anthony Gordon and Karim Adeyemi from Dortmund. So they've rebuilt that bit already. Well, I say rebuilt. They've still got Torres and they've still got Lamine Yamal. They're just both those players that I've just mentioned are going to be backups to them. So it relieves Rashford in a very small predicament. He has been given his number 10 back from Carrick, and Cunha's now been given number 11. Does that mean he's going to stay because Carrick loves him? Possibly. There's a massive possibility there. So if we want a left-sided player that's versatile, gets numbers, does get goals, does play good football, Gakpo's going to be the only one that we're probably going to go in for. And we are heavily linked with him. But it's going to be a big transfer fee if you want to take him from a European playing team this season to come down to a team that's pretty much playing one game a week apart from FA Cup and Carabao Cup.
I think some of their fans, Ryan, they get put off by media stories that aren't really unsubstantiated. If I don't see quotes around what a player said, I'm dubious, because we know how much the media stirs the crap around players, like saying he's got a bad attitude. No, I don't know. He might have fell out with one manager, but that's not a crime, is it? You know? You're muted, mate. I think you're muted.
There was a period of about 3 to 6 months at Man United when he quite visibly didn't do any tracking back, and I remember, the ball was sliding past him, and he was just kind of watching it. I don't know what was going on at the time. I don't. I think it was around the time that he had the free school meals thing, and there was something in Northern Ireland, if I remember rightly. There was like a night out in Northern Ireland that caused a bit of a fuss with whoever was the coach at the time. I can't remember who it was, but he seems to have. You can't let moments like that tar your opinion of somebody for the rest. He seems to have got on at Villa. Seems to have got on at Barcelona. They didn't pick him up. They went for Gordon, but he seems to have got on Gakpo. I would take Gakpo as well. I would take either or both. If I'm brutally honest, I'd take either on both. Obviously, the other advantage that Rashford has, Adrian, homegrown, right? So he goes on the homegrown list. Whereas Gakpo would mean that we would have to get rid of one of our other non-homegrown players. So he's considered selfish. But he scores goals. That's fine. That's fine. He scores goals and has done throughout his whole career from a wide position. So.
Rowley picks up positions on the pitch. I think the complaints, look, you've got to take it with a pinch of salt what other fans say about their players. Same as I do with a lot of ours. But he picks up positions. He seems to find himself in the box. He likes to cut him from the left, which seems to be what a lot of wingers like to do. But he's a goal scorer, isn't he? I mean, that's what we need. We need wings.
Yeah,
we
he
need
was
goals.
very impressive in the World Cup, wasn't he? He was very impressive. You know what I mean? I really like watching him at the World Cup. Because he had good players around him. You know what I mean? He's going to have good players around him at Spurs, so he should do very well. Sorry, I was just reading this about Morgan Gibbs-White.
Go on.
It's on X. It's saying Tottenham are ready to submit a total insane offer for Nottingham Forest Morgan Gibbs-White, £55 million plus Lucas Bergvall.
Yeah, I see 50 million yesterday. It's gone up 5 mil. Yeah, you don't do swap deals. You can't. If you were selling two separate contracts, because otherwise you fall foul.
It will be two separate. Yeah, obviously. Yeah. But I mean, that's the sort of thing they're looking at.
I mean, we'd all take Morgan Gibbs-White to add to our fantastic midfield we've got now, but I don't see it happening.
As a number 10 to cover.
Well, the priorities are at the front, though, aren't they? Well, you start doing. I mean, if you're going to sell Bergvall, who's not happy, sell him. Get the 55.
3 across the front and a striker, aren't you? Right.
We need.
So he's going to sit in the number 10 and play to the striker. We ain't got nothing like that. But
and that's if we get a striker. Because if Liverpool dig their heels in and we can't get traditional.
I'd play Gakpo as a striker.
Yeah, if you could get him, right?
Speaking of Gakpo.
Yeah. It's not
I've got news off of that as well now. It's literally just popped up on my phone. So this is from Twitter from Daily Hotspur. This is info from @Pokeith1. It currently reads, and I'll quote it: Roberto De Zerbi wants Tottenham to sign Gakpo because he can play as a number 9.
They are.
So
exactly what I was
take
saying.
of that what you will. Take of it what you will. Obviously, on the topic of Cody Gakpo, I thought it was necessary for me to throw that in there. But
that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan, I know you've got to go at 10:30. Have you got anything more to say on Gakpo then?
No, and on Rowley's Morgan Gibbs-White, when we spent the money on, when we spent 85 on Fernandez and 100 on Tonali, if we're going to effectively spend 90 to 100 on Morgan Gibbs-White, so can be it. You know what I mean? Again, yes, we need forwards, we need goals because I did a count the other day. On the left hand side, if we've got Tell, you're looking at maybe 5 goals. On the right hand side, even with Kudus, you're looking at maybe 5 goals. He's not an out and out goal scorer. And in the middle, between Richarlison and Solanke, no matter what you think of their quality, the fact that they both spend so much time injured means that they rarely get more than 10 or 12 goals in a season. So between them, you're looking at 20 goals. That's 30 goals from our front line, at the moment. Whereas Morgan Gibbs White will add 10 to 15.
Yeah,
He on his
If you're going to win the league, you need about 85 goals.
exactly. And
86 and came second.
how many goals did we get last season?
I should know this because I'm a very fact-obsessed Spurs fan, but I can't recall.
Pick a number
62.
in the Premier League. Lower.
Well, that's awful. Then
40.
Higher.
45
Well, that's all right.
goals.
At least it's more than 40.
It was 48 goals we got in the Premier League last season, and we're going in this season with
Same strikers.
with the same forward line, if not worse. If not worse, because we ended up with Maddison. We had Maddison for we had Xavi.
And Palhinha.
We had
Score
Palhinha,
goals.
and that's the thing. Palhinha and Romero actually chipped in with a huge number of goals. They
Romero
chipped in
got
And
five.
Van as well.
Yeah.
Again.
So we desperately need goals in our side.
Yeah.
Gakpo,
I even,
Rashford,
yeah.
Morgan Gibbs White, all three of them are going to give you 10 to 15 goals. All
And I
three of
think
them.
We'll be playing a more attacking brand of football, so I'm confident we'll get more goals, but I don't know how many. We don't know how many. But on this, I don't know if you're going there, Rain, but I'm bringing on your mate now, right? Savinho, right? The long drawn out, the ongoing saga, right? We've got to talk about him. 154 professional appearances. He is young. In that time, he's got 18 goals and 23 assists. Okay, you add them together, you've got, 41? In one in four for a winger is a good GA. He's only scored about 2 goals at Man City, though. I know you're going to curse it, Rain, but I like him.
1 in 4. I think you're glossing over 1 in 4 GA. 1 in 4 GA for a winger is not good.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's always been good.
Oh,
Son was
don't
1 in
think
3.
so.
Salah was 1 in 3 or whatever. That was good. 1 in 4
It's
was
not
always
almost 1
considered
in
back in the
3.
day. If you scored 1 in 4,
It's a pretty solid 1 in 4.
hold on, you would be getting. You've just gone about wingers getting 5 goals each, right? 1 in 4 is 9-10 goals. 1 in 4 is 9-10 goals a season, right?
Yeah, but
playing
5 goals. Yeah, but no, but let's get this right. I don't think Telly's getting us enough goals or assists. I don't think Telly's getting you enough GA. And on the right hand side, Kudus is going to get you about 15 GA.
Right.
That's what he's going to get you. He's going to get about 15 GA, which is almost 1 in 2. It's almost 1 in 2, mate.
Yeah, if Savino's fancied by De Zerbi, and I believe he is, it's because 1, he's left-footed. He'll play on the left. He'll stretch the width of the pitch. 2, it's because he does track back, right? Whereas Rashford doesn't, and whatever. He does track back, and so he's going to put a shift in, which De Zerbi insists on all his players. You've got to put a shift in to get in my team, the way I look at it, unless I'm wrong, of course. Yeah. So 1 in 4, and I just think with him, because he's so superbly technically superb and good with both feet, and he's an eel. He really is an eel. I just think under De Zerbi ball he will score goals, because you've got to believe that to bring him in. Otherwise, there's no point.
I don't think he will. I don't think he's that type of player, Adrian. I don't think he's that type of player.
I just watched the highlights of him. I've just literally watched the highlights of him, and most of the highlights of him passing the ball back. He suits Spurs brilliantly.
That's my fundamental problem with Savinho. Is one, I think he's at the same level of career progression as Tell, and I don't want us to have 2 players at the same level of career progression where they haven't stepped up yet. Right? That's number 1. Number 2, Savinho absolutely is a get to the beat at your man, cross the ball in, or pass the ball into the box. That's what he does. And who's going to be in the center? Who's going to be in the center? Well, it's going to be Richie or Solanke. Now, actually,
you should have the other winger. The other winger should be running in on a far post, and you should have runners for midfield in a good attacking team.
Yeah. But at the moment, not with Tottenham. We need goals. And
how many goals Kuda's going to get? No one knows about it. And all the fans love him. I love him.
About 5 or 6 goals.
Right? How's he going to get? And then fans will moan about Kulusevski, but he scores goals. He scores goals, right? You know that. They moan about Maddison, but he scores goals, right? And that's what the team
we
needs.
can't
My
rely on
first
him all
thing to look at
season, though,
teams, I think,
Adrian.
you score goals, or you're going to look pretty and just finish mid-table, you know? Go on, Ronnie. You have to say.
No, seriously. I mean, you keep saying Madison, but like Madison's going to last. I'm hoping he's going to last the season, but there's, history says he isn't going to last the whole season, and that's where the goals have got to come in. Do you know what I mean? When he doesn't play well, or we can hook him off or whatever. Do you know what I mean? We've got to have someone there as a number 10 to score goals where he doesn't.
Well,
Okay, Adrian, Kudus, last 4 seasons, 150 games he's played, 41 goals.
Well, that's very good.
And
4.
41 goals and 9, 16, 32 assists.
Right,
So,
okay.
I honestly, 1 in 48 is not great. And yes, we actually, I think, to be fair, the 154 appearances probably selling him short, because I wonder how many 90-minute performance, how many 90 minutes he was given by Pep.
I get these, for those, for the 110 of you viewing us now, the 110 of you viewing us now, I mean, obviously, I go and get the fact off of Google, off Transfermarkt, blah, blah, and I also get them off AI. So if the fact's wrong, go and give AI a slap and Transfermarkt a slap, as well, because I do source this stuff. I don't make any of it up. Otherwise, we wouldn't grow as a channel.
I mean, let me be clear. Osimhen and Savio, right? Good pairing. Yeah? Because Savio is just going to feed Osimhen and he's just going to bang the goals in. Yeah? Bang, 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 bang. But unless we actually have that kind of tie-up, unless we're going to have that kind of player who's just going to all he's interested in is banging in the goals, we need somebody on the left, in my humble opinion, who's going to chip in with 10 to 15 on their own.
Yeah. Ricky, Sava talks a lot of sense. I don't agree with all of it, but then he wouldn't agree with all of what I say either. Right? So, Savio sign, just going through the chat before we move on to leavers and stayers or whatever. So it's not going to happen anytime. Yeah, I think he's coming, harmless potato. I think we put so much work into this. This deal gets done. And De Zerbi's on record as saying he likes the player. Now, if any player we bring in this club, whether I like him or not, you obviously want him to do well.
You like Paulinho, and look what happened to him.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you know what I mean?
when Porro came into this club, I was probably one of his harshest critics. Them 2 disastrous first games against Newcastle away and Leicester away and Newcastle away, and we got battered. I thought, what have we bought here? Right, looks lost. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pop off. Thank you very much, Adrian. Just gonna say this is week 4. The end of week 4 of Savio is going to be with us.
I think something's
shortly.
got to happen. Something's got to happen by the end of the week.
Well, the other thing
is the end of week 4. Will it be the end of week 5 next Sunday?
Transfer window. 29 days in the transfer window. The season starts on the 21st, not the 22nd, because there's a Friday game, right? So 9 days of that 29 days goes into the new season. So Nessi's back at the stadium. So you know that Romero, before he goes off to Inter, which we'll cover on, he's coming back. You know that, well, we'll have all the players back. And then if we get Kudus and Decky up and running, I think things all go well for us, because I'm confident we're going to get 2 players in. And we might even get 3. It deserves itself like 3. It might be pushing it a bit, but I'm confident we'll get 2 in. And tell you what I'm confident about, although we may disagree on the quality of players or who we want to bring in, I bet there'll be quality players. Whoever they are, there'll be quality players, whether we like them or not.
Be quality.
They need to pull their fingers out, because the longer it takes, the less players are available. The
deafening silence is a good thing. I mean,
the deafening silence is because they can't sign players until they sell them. They need to get Vicario, Romero, and Sarr out the club to alleviate the non-homegrown problem. At the moment, they don't want to take that risk.
I
I'm
agree
telling
with
you,
that,
that's
Sonny.
what the problem is.
Yeah. Jack, I don't believe all this. Like,
Anyway,
what,
see you later.
I don't believe all
All
this.
the
We're
best,
waiting to
Lane.
get move. City need to move someone in. They've got so many good players. I mean, like up front,
Yeah.
Haaland, Mamouche. You've got Ryan Cherky. You've got Semenyo. You've got
They got rid of Semenyo, didn't they? No, they got
No,
Semenyo,
no,
and they
no.
got
They've
just
brought
got
Semenyo in for the winter, and they've
they've
just
got
given
Monga
Foden a
from
new
Leicester.
contract.
They brought in a Monga for Leicester.
Monga.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, just got
They've
Monga.
got Semenyo, and you've got Foden still there as well, who I'd take tomorrow, right? I mean, they've got more than 6 attackers, quality
they got to
attackers.
worry about it.
So they're not waiting to bring someone in. They might be waiting to do a big deal and then think, okay, we'll take the 60 million off Spurs, because I think it's going to cost that 60,
City
60.
could put
probably.
two
Putting
really
his
good Premiership
chance out.
teams out.
Yeah.
They could put
I mean,
two
I
good
think
Premiership teams out. City.
I've said this on Harry Scarf's podcast, which if just no one knows, and you should know. Harry Scarfy Spurs Talk or Scarfy Talks Premier League. I'm on there many every week, to be fair with you. I've said it most of the time about Man City with Savinho. I don't exactly know what they're waiting for. They keep saying they're looking for a replacement, but I think not only they don't. Yeah, that's exactly what I think. It is bollocks. That they got his replacement in during the winter with Semenyo. That's the player that they wanted. That's what they got. They've got Jeremy Doku, who can play on the right hand side, just giving him another massive contract. They're giving Phil Foden, who was looking more likely to leave because he doesn't get any game time whatsoever. They're just giving him a contract to 2031, and they just brought in this Monga from Leicester. So I don't exactly know who they're waiting for. Yeah, I don't know what Maresca is thinking. It was weird last year when Pep was talking about it, and they still had decent players that can play on the right hand side apart from Savinho, because he wasn't playing Savinho in the slightest anyway, because he wasn't playing a role in that sense where wingers were massively always needed. He'd chop and change it every now and then where wingers would play, which is why Jeremy Doku did come in the end. But he wasn't really playing Savinho anyway. So I don't get why we've been waiting 2 years for a player like this.
Osvaldo here could make a point. I mean, after they've seen us spend big, they might have been trying it on and pushing up an agreed fee, because everything about this deal was done. It's only City that maybe City just haven't okayed it. I mean, we know the director before their chairman stopped it last time round. I still think we'll get him, but no one else is going to pay more than what we pay for him. The most we'd pay for him is probably 65, the most, right? We probably offer them 55 or something, but we're all the whispers are here, and it's just that, the deal's virtually done deal now. So
I don't really know why it's taking so long. I
think
also
board members could be on holiday. He is back. He played for Inter Milan against Inter Milan, didn't he, yesterday or what?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's back and he's fit.
He had no right game.
There.
Yeah. But I think the other thing that's also stalled in it is because they've probably just seen Somerville go to Saudi for about 80 or however much it was. So they think, if he's going for that much over there, we can try and squeeze a little bit more out of Tottenham, because obviously not only are we spending money like it grows on trees and giving people contracts that with the high wages, it's also the rebuild that we've been waiting for probably the last 20 odd, well, probably about not even maybe close towards 20 years, because that's how long we've had to deal with Daniel Levy's muppetness. But no, I think that's probably another reason why they're doing it. They want to get a bit more money out of us, and if that is the case, then they should probably they're not going to say it, are they? Because they'll be too embarrassed to go, we want a bit more money because someone else has just gone somewhere for this much amount of money. I'm also seeing now on topics of more transfers that West Ham are eyeing up either a loan or a possible straight buyout for Manuel Solomon with losing Somerville. That's what I've just seen pop up on my phone just now. Whether or not
he did well in the Championship with Leeds, didn't he?
Oh, he did amazingly well. He got a lot of crucial goals in the end, and during the whole season, and obviously was one of the main protagonists for helping them get back into the Premier League. And fair play to him. And obviously he went off to where was it? No, it wasn't. Was it Florida? Yeah, he went off to Fiorentina, and then he didn't really do much there at the time for last season. Obviously now he's back in pre-season. He's put in a bit of a shift, and and that's fair dues. And I think even if we don't get another right winger in, it's an option that we do have because realistically we have no other fucking option. We don't really have.
Well, I think all of the signings we've made are Premier League. I could be wrong, but I think it's going to either be Gakpo, unless you throw Mamouche in, it's going to be Premier League players that deserve he wants. It seems to be going that way. I think the others are just
100%.
They're just clickbait. The other stories about Osimhen and that I just don't see it happening. But if it happened, like we said, we've all said we take those players, right?
I'm not saying no to Osimhen at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like his numbers are great.
Here, I mean, look, I think Savinho will get fans off their feet. My only concern with Savinho, he's technically superb. He's good with both feet. He's a right little eel of a player. Is end product. It's just goals. That's my only concern with Savinho. That's my only concern. Other than that, yes, he holds his own in the Premier League. So
which is why I think what Ryan said made sense.
Yeah, we don't buy the players, Ricky. We don't devise the tactics or pick the team, right? We only speculate here. So that's why I don't do hate on other people's opinions, isn't it? Because what we say is just an opinion. Yeah, it's just an opinion.
Yeah, you're right.
Spurs Kings, even if Chelsea doesn't want. Well, that's not what I'm hearing.
Yeah, we've thrown a 65 mil number out somewhere or whatever. I think I saw, but they're trying to get a bit. No, I think we threw out. How much did we throw out? We think we.
The rumour last year was we offered 70 mil.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
with add-ons.
Yeah,
it was 55 with add-ons.
Yeah, 55 add-ons led to 60, but now they want 65 mil. And then with obviously the add-ons that we already had, that's going to go up to 70. So it's going to be the same as what we was offering last year. And that's obviously mainly because they've just seen Savinho go for 80 mil from a relegated team. And obviously having us buying Fernandes off him for 85 mil probably also hasn't helped because again we bought a player from a newly relegated side. So and they're seeing us spend big on Tonali, Van Hecke and Fernandes, and obviously with the three players that we've got in as well, obviously they're going to be on some wages, especially Robertson and Senesi. So they're seeing us throw some money out. They're trying to get some more money out of us. That's all I can see. It's nothing to do with we're waiting for a replacement. It's just we're spending. We're actually getting some money. We're actually getting money out the door to get players for a rebuild. They want more money out of us because we are able and dare I say willing to spend the money to get these players in for the rebuild. So that's all I can see with Man City, to be fair. But I think with Savinho, I think we need to be a little bit more cautious about how much we're spending on the player like that, especially with with what the GA that he has of it from being so low, considering how many appearances he's made for.
I mean, I think we're all in agreement. There are so many good wingers out there, youngsters as well. It's not short of wingers out there. If City want to hold us to ransom or break their word over, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, or break their word over agreed fee like you've alluded to, we could quite easily back away. We've got the money to go and smack them up in Europe. I mean, there's quite a few. I mean, I made this list anyway, right? There's quite a few on this list. Forget the top lot. We've discussed them. Forget Goldman, Phillips White. But you got Leao, you got Yildiz. If you went to Liverpool, Juve, and offered them 70 mil, they'd sell.
Nico Williams has gone, mate. He's gone to Barca.
Has he gone to Barca now?
Yeah, I've just been reading.
I mean, I see that his release cost was 90 million to 100 million euros.
So
I took the 100 mil, which is 85 million quid.
Nico Williams and Barca have agreed personal terms of a 6-year deal, agreement sealed, and players contract until June 2031.
Fantastic player. I mean, and he wasn't even at his best at the World Cup, but you could see his quality. No. But I mean, I think Barca will if they brought him in, they'll sell Torres. And the left field wingers, I'm sure you could add more to this. You've got Mika Glotz, you've mentioned. Syed El Mala, 6'2", he's a tank. He's young though. Noosa, Norway, young. Shoulder up.
The one I wanted has been he's just got injured as well. Oh, I say got injured. He got injured last season. Was the Real Madrid winger
Rodrigo,
yeah. I mean, superb player. Would have done brilliant. Yeah, wouldn't have been probably as much as Nico Williams or someone like that. Do you know what I mean?
Two of these, Syed Mala and Azulu, they score goals. That's what I'm looking for in wingers. I want wingers not frightened to have a shot.
Noosa's a great player as well. He's probably built for the Premiership. Sadamala. The Gotts is output, man. His goals and his GA is superb. Miko Götze. We
And
really
I think
missed out
Leao
on
was on the
playing him.
move. I don't know where he's going. He might be going to Turkey, because this gets me when players just go there or Saudi Arabia for the money. I question their ambition.
Actually,
Then,
I just saw something on him.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, we'll move off this list, right? Because I keep it in case they crop up and I have to go and get stats on them.
Yeah.
And just on like comings and goings, and we're sort of done. I mean, Mason Mealy is going to go on loan. We've got him on some bats. He's a good prospect, but just like any others, we don't know what will happen with him in the future. Vicario now looks like a loan because he's telling clubs take the piss and they always plead poverty, right? And yet when they want to sell us a player, they will extort money out of us, right? Sousa's now linked to Portimore over Benfica, so we make a small profit on him if we sell him at 20 mil. Now the next three, this looks like a done deal. Romero to Inter Milan at 34 mil. He's just coming back from the World Cup now, so there was rumours that difficult on the deal was the wages, and apparently we've dropped our price. I think this is cheap, guys. Whether you like him or not, this is cheap if this is the case.
Oh, it's dirt cheap for a player who's, his calibre.
Mm.
He just didn't suit the Premiership, man. I don't think he suited it.
We've like he's been with us 5 years. He had 6 red cards, 41 yellow cards, right? And the yellow cards don't bother me so much because you've got to get 5 within the first 18 games in the Premier League to get a 1-match suspension. And
it's gone up now, though, hasn't it? It's not 5 anymore. It's gone up to 8 or 10, I think now.
Is it? And then you've got, and then you had to get 10 by game 32 to get a 2-match ban. And if you've got a squad of 25 players, if a player's got a 1-match ban, you're giving another player a chance anyway. With his 6 reds, the problem with Romero was 2 were in the same season, which you get extra bans. So he got a 3-match ban, and then he got a 4-match ban. And I think that turned the fan base off him because we needed him, right? But for 5 years, he's averaged 31 games a season, right? 5 games.
Wow.
And we all love VDV. In his 3 seasons, VDV, he's averaged 32 games a season. So, and I never went with all that, he gets injured, but he's always fit to play for Argentina. Look, fans don't need to do that. If you think he's reckless or he's got a bad discipline and you want him out, that's a good enough argument. You don't have to start sticking ridiculous statements on it because a player can't time, the type of injury he gets so he's fit to play for his national side. It's just absolutely ridiculous, right? But if you make a case for him, you don't like him, fair enough. On the disciplinary reason, fair enough.
I'm just reading, breaking Jose Mourinho's put players on the transfer list. He just said that he's not part of his plans. Trent Alexander, great player. Vivaldi, great player. Vinicius Jr. and Camavinga. Wow.
Really? Well, the Arsenal might get their winger then.
I don't know how he's put Valverde on the list, though, to be honest with you. He's a great fucking midfielder.
I can't believe that.
Very versatile midfielder. And Camavinga being so young as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, he can play midfield and he can also play left back.
He's DM, though, isn't he, Camavinga?
Yeah, he is. So he can play in the midfield, but for some reason he also was getting played in left back. He's sort of like Archie Gray in that way, getting played in different positions all the time. But again, he's another young, quite probably going to be a decent prospect player as well.
Got a couple more to go through before I want to get the channel final plug. There's 110 of you viewing us now on various platforms, which is fantastic. I mean, great comments from people in the chat. I'll go through there's eight more for me to go through. I'll go through them. If you like the content out there, you can see the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner. Please hit the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. We pride ourselves on diehards and bring you fact-based stuff. As those of you who've stayed with us will know, this is what our shows are like. I do a big synopsis on games. When we're playing games, I go through them like with a thin comb, over everything in the games. And they're much the same. The content and the style and the tone of the shows is like tonight. We will go in deep and we don't get toxic, but we will critique the club when it's necessary. But every show out there look, there's great shows out with well-meaning Spurs fans, and they put out great content, and all them shows have a different tone. Some are a bit light entertainment, some are a bit more jokey. some are serious. You know, we are a discerning group here, that Spurs diehards, as you would have gathered if you stayed with us and you stay with our shows. Right, with that, thanks to you all. Big up to everyone watches on playback. Big up to you in the comments. So we'll go through the last 9 if we do these last 2. Now, we're getting mixed messages out in the media. Is he staying? Is he going?
I just want him to go.
I don't think even he knows if he wants to stay or go. But I think everyone sort of. I think after last season, yeah, he has. I think after last season, where journalists and media moguls were branding him as the slowest striker in the Premier League, first touch of a freight train, and everything else. But it's. I think his Premier League run is probably sealed and done and finished because. You see a lot of people saying about, oh, he could go back to Everton. He can't because Beto is 10 times better of a striker than him. And they're quite happy with the way that Beto's been playing.
Apparently, he'd want to stay in the Premier League. He's got British citizenship now. If he could, if not, wants to go in an elite club. I don't know what elite club would take him.
Not many.
He's not good enough. I mean, us three, even you're younger than me and Rowley, but. You've seen so many strikers at this football club that are better than him and Solanke, right?
I've seen so
a
many
young generation will spot with Kane and Son.
I'd take Soldado back.
Yeah.
He should score with his arse.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
He's not good enough. Technically, he's not good enough. He's got a trampoline touch. I mean, it does work from his touch sometimes, but you need more consistency out of his. Out of what he lacks technique, basically. And he's not an awful player. He's just not good for us. He's chipped in with double figures every year, but it's just not good enough.
That's just having minimal double. Like last season, he got 10, and I was very shocked that he got 10.
I think it was 11 or 12.
Yeah, in all competitions, it's about 11 or 12. But in the Premier League, it was 10. It was 10 flat. And 2 of those being in the opening game where he scored that weird scissor kick from a kudos assist. Now, don't get me wrong, it was a great goal.
Burnley,
two good goals in that. I think it's Burnley. All that stuff in that in those cups that everyone's using, whatever that is.
Yeah, there is the fear, Rowley, that we go into the new season with both of them because we can't get a number 9 type striker in.
I'll cry, man.
And we bring in 2 wingers instead. We might bring in 2 wingers and not. Yeah,
and everyone knows Tottenham Hotspur couldn't score last season. That was our problem. We couldn't create nothing. We couldn't break down a low block. Yeah, we had no wingers. When Kudus was on his own, they just double marked him. That stopped the attack straight away, didn't it? Yeah. We had no Maddison in the middle, so therefore we were buggered, really, weren't we? Yeah. So I just can't see how they cannot get another striker in.
I've got 2 more banners to bring up. I'm glad you guys have stayed as long as you can. I mean, if the show, if the show goes flat, I end it at an hour and a half or whatever. But it's been a great show. Raynor was, he's well informed, good content from him. Like he knows his stuff, like as you 2 guys do. Is he staying or going? Now, let me caveat that with that other banner I was going to bring up because I make lists of forwards, midfielders, right? So, where are we? Don't tell me we've lost it. No, here we go. We got 9 midfielders, guys. Now, you with a 25-man squad, 2 in each position is 22. The third goalkeeper is 23. So you'd have 6 midfielders because you'd have 4 DMs, say central midfielders, and 2 number 10s. That's 6. So we could go to 8 midfielders. The only issue is when you're top heavy in one area of the field is like you've got to keep these players happy as well, haven't you? You know. My sneaking feeling is that he's going to go. I mean, he's a good player, but what do you think on Bergvall, Rowley? Is he going?
I can't see what he does. I can't see what position he is. I mean, if he took a man on, maybe, but he just seems to be like just pass it backwards, sideways, whatever. I've never seen any progression with Bergvall since we've had him. Do you know what I mean? I mean, when I watched the videos of when he first come over, and he looked like a generational talent. But since he's been at Spurs and he's playing with men and that, I'm sorry, he's just not done it, has he?
I mean, we
Just
could
done
stick
it.
with eight, Jack, because at the moment Simmons is injured. So if you were going to get rid of
Mm.
Bergvall, you could say, well, hang out till January. Same, you could say the same with Saar. Everyone seems to think he's going. Brentford were interested.
Yeah.
They would snap up
I've
stock.
heard Newcastle are after him as well. Newcastle
Yeah.
are interested.
He'll
because
get
they're
snapped up.
desperate.
It might be later in the window, but it'll get snapped up because if you need pace and bite and energy in midfield, and Saar gives you that, right? He might not have
What worries
a lot
me
more.
is the
Yeah.
playmaker number 10, right?
Mm.
And the only ones that can do that really is Xavi and Medicine out of that lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I
need
mean,
someone else
I
who
didn't
can do
put
that as
Decky in
well
this
as them
list
two.
We're not
deliberately
getting
because
him. We're not getting him till January. Xavi
Yeah.
back, are we? James
No.
Medicine.
Yeah.
You just can't trust the guy.
and I
love
didn't
him
put
to
Decky in
Massive
the
hit and
list.
miss at the moment.
Yeah. I didn't put
Love
Decky in the list because I think he's going to be competition for Kudus. But you never know with De Serbi. He'll
No.
No.
tweak things here
And
and there.
plus, he was playing a bit more centre mid role ish with Ange and before that as well.
I'd give Forrest Bergvall and just say, what do you want for him? You know,
Yeah,
how much more money do you want?
There'd have to be two agreed separate deals. So they didn't
Obviously,
that
yeah,
great didn't
obviously.
renege out of one after they've got Bergvall, right?
Obviously, but yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, the other thing with it is like if you sold Bergvall and got 60 mil, and if Romero went for 34, and if Saar went for 25, whatever it is, there's no money for a midfielder.
No,
You'd
that's
get
over 100 mil though that you've got in.
Yeah, and if like Ashley Phillips went for 130 mil, I mean, we have actually spent in this window, and I did this on AI, right? It came back with net spend, right? 148 to 150 mil.
Yeah.
151 mil, it said actually. If you took 120 mil off that, if we sold these players, we've only spent 30 mil. And look how we've upgraded the squad. So we could go for Osimhen and all that. We can go for anyone we want, basically, if we make the sales.
Yeah,
and I actually think our sales have been good. I mean, I was gutted when Vasquez went. I didn't want Lancashire to go, right?
That was
I mean,
a good deal, though, man.
So
because like we got Van Heck for nothing, really.
Yeah,
we got him for about 3-4 mil. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That was great.
No, I think that's what annoys most Spurs fans because he was again one of those players that like Bergvall that was really really hyped up. And then he obviously went over to Hamburg, had an amazing season. We thought, right, he'll come back. Romero will go. He'll be second choice if we sign someone else. And then we just thought we'll get Van Hecker in. And then he started getting a bit too big, saying, "Well, I've come off an amazing season. If I'm not going to be in your plans for the next 3-4 years, I want to go." And Brighton needed a centre back because we just spent the money out to get Van Hecker. So that's where it is. So he pretty much spent about £3 to £4 million on Van Hecker by getting 50 mil back off of Vustovic. So it's an amazing bit of deal, and obviously we get wherever he goes after that, and he gets sold, we get 20% out of that as well. So that's another bit of decent business that we've done.
We got
as each day now passes in the transfer window, our fan base are getting more and more frustrated, like because we want these forwards brought in, but we have yet to see what will happen. You know.
Mika Gotts, we were just saying about his output, right? I forget what it was now. It was very, very good. He outshone Yan Diamondi and everyone. Yeah, who's just gone to Real Madrid.
I think you nailed it here, King Olo. I actually think it's going to be Savinho and Gakpo. And if we get the third player, I don't mind if we take a chance on one of them young strikers or whatever, or a young winger with a third player. But get two players that can hold their own in the Premier League first. I think it'll be these two. You know,
Mika Gotts has gone for 45 million euros.
That's what, about 40 mil?
Not a lot of money, is it?
No.
I mean,
about 43 million quid probably, something along those lines.
Basically, what we pay for Gray, really, isn't it? You know what I mean? So
yeah.
With an
I don't know. I mean, this is again. You get. I mean, Sava mentioned it on his show about all this talk about, you know, players' attitudes and all that. It's one thing we should have done when we brought in Ndombele and all that. Part of your due diligence should be like checking what their psyche is, whether they're team players, whether they're stroppy or whatever. You don't want to bring in a bad apple, do you? And look, I mean, like, he was just stealing a wage, wasn't he, Ndombele? Yeah, we do, King Oddle. We do. It's still January, but we need to get at least 2 forwards in. I mean, I'd like 2 wingers and a number 9, personally. That's what I would like.
Yeah, that's what I'd
And
want.
then if Bergvall stays, he would, there's always January. If he comes in and, puts good shifts in, as his Herbie likes him, he'll get game time. This is good, though, because you've got to prove yourself now in this team. This is what we want. Too many players thought they were regular pick.
We're getting too close to the end of the window now, and like other teams going like
it's 29 days. 29 days left. 9 days goes into the transfer window, and all our players should be back.
That makes sense.
Yeah, all our players should be back. I think I worked out 9 to 14, under 2 weeks before the season starts. So Senesi will be back, Romero will be back. We had 4 away, didn't we? Porro was away.
Yeah, Porro's away. Jed Spence is still out.
And Jed Spence was away, right? So, but the thing with those players, they've been playing football, and we know that what they can do. It's not like bringing in a foreign player you don't know. So I don't think it's an awful situation. It's not ideal, but that's the way with the World Cup. They're allowed 3 weeks off, Yeah. So, yeah, Rain. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's disgustingly low price, but obviously we don't know what's gone on behind the scenes. So,
yeah, I mean, today's prices for Romero for 34 million quid.
Yeah.
What player can you, with a double World Cup winner? Do you know what I mean? And you going, oh yeah, you could have him for 34 million pound. Any other team would be wanting 60, 70 million for him. And you think he's worth more than bloody Vuskovic?
yeah. Yeah,
you
you
put
would.
it like that, it's a joke, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a joke. I mean, look, really, he's a 65, 70 million pound player.
Absolutely, if not more.
100%.
Yeah.
What
And
we
just
do
go
now?
through this list, and then I'll bring up the fixtures. We've got 3 more games to play. And the interesting one about not so much Getafe, we play them, and then we play. I'm going to the friendly game against Hoffenheim.
Oh, so am I. I'm
Right.
going to that game as well.
All right, I'll see you in the back of in the fan zone. Then we'll meet in the fan zone. We meet the little group of us actually meet there if they're going. I
Oh.
want to be at the friendly. We've got a little regular meeting spot.
Oh, nice. We'll sort something out.
Yeah, we'll sort something out. Yeah, I like Gray. I'm a fan. I know half the fan base aren't, but that's the same for every player. Right, what I was going to bring up, the last thing, it's been a good show, was actually the fixtures. Where are we, Adrian? Where are we? Down we go. Remaining fixtures. Right, so we've got Getafe, Saturday the 8th of August. That's only next Saturday. And then the week up the 15th, well, we'll be going then, Jack. I don't know if Harry's going. I don't know if Harry's renewed his season ticket at all. Harry Scarf, I don't know.
He's away on holiday for the next couple of days, so I don't think he won't be attending that game.
Right, okay. So we've got the 15th of August, a Saturday. And then the freaky thing is we then play Hoffenheim again on a Sunday at 12 noon. Now, what the interesting thing about that is if we go for a third player, is this guy. This guy plays for Hoffenheim, 23-year-old, 6'2" striker, appearances 10 goals, 7 assists, decent numbers for the amount of games he's played.
For a 23-year-old in the amount of games, yeah.
So rumoured interest. Is this why we have 2 pre-season games at Hoffenheim? We're going to finish on this, guys. I mean,
What, Jim?
See, I didn't even know there was 2 games in 2 days against the same club.
yeah, there is. One's the friendly we're going to, the next one's behind closed doors. So, and they will be on Spurs play, right? So, I don't know who picked these fixture lists. I was anti playing Chelsea away, just for it's
I was.
an intense game like that
It's
could
just
turn
dangerous.
funny.
It's just dangerous.
And we got a bit physical with them, to be honest.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Not physical in the old style of game playing, but like
Conor Gallagher was getting involved as well at the start. Got
He
got his
got
yellow
red.
card in against his old club.
He held his own, didn't he?
So this
Yeah,
guy,
definitely.
we may be looking at him as if we're saying 2 or 3, we've got to get 2 players in that we know oven ready, you know. And then if we went for someone like this guy, I'm not against them gambling on him, or this guy from Club Bruges, right? But that's it, guys. We're going to end the show. We've been going 2 hours, but it's been. I've got 105 of you on various platforms. Yeah, all I can ask you to do is hit the subscribe to the channel. Right? There's one comment.
Smash the like, guys. Come on.
Yeah. No more travel. Good. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need any more travelling. I think dealing with the time zones and watching the games in Australia was fucking nuts. It's like, well, to be fair, I think we're all used to it with all the
World Cup.
the World Cup games, but it's like, do I really need to be watching my own club now play in different time zones? Like I woke up at, I think, like 4 o'clock in the morning to watch the what was it, the Sydney game or the Auckland game, one of the two, whatever one was at 4 o'clock in the morning. The Auckland game, yeah, that was at 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, don't get me wrong, I'll get up and watch it because it's my club. I want to watch my club, but yeah, I'm kind of happy that it's now at decent times now. I haven't got to worry about waking up early for these games. I can get out of that cycle now and get an actual proper night's sleep. That's the best thing about it, I think. Proper night's sleep.
I'm trying to lose this banner. Where am I? I'm in the banners. Where is this banner? I've got to scroll down. I lost it. And then we'll show. Like, big up, guys. I mean, we'll get you. We have regular guests on here as well as we do get the odd debutant. But we'll get Rowley back. And Jack's been on a few times. And Rain's a regular on Sunday. And I don't see this banner here. So I don't know if it's playing up.
Sorry, I was late in, mate.
No, that's what. Don't worry about that.
Traffic driving home.
Don't worry about that.
Went to see relatives today, and like it was a diversion, typical, wasn't it?
Yeah.
At night.
Roadworks and diversions, I deal with it every day for my job, mate. So I feel your pain. I feel your pain entirely.
Yeah.
Why? Got this guy. Why isn't this? This isn't showing as a banner now. I can't remove it. All right, we'll end the show with it on there. Right, okay.
Yeah,
right. See you guys in the back room. Play out this music, and actually, I've written and made about 30, 40 bits of music, but I'll play you out with this bit. And usually, a lot of the people on various platforms, they stay and listen to it. Right. I'll see you in the back room if you hang about, guys. Right.
All right.
We are Tottenham till we die. We are Tottenham till we die. Spurs die hearts, heart and soul. We are Tottenham till we die. We are Tottenham till we die. Spurs die hearts, heart and soul. We are Tottenham till we die. We are Tottenham till we die. Spurs die hearts, heart and soul.